Chief Petty Officer Rob Roy spent more than 2 decades serving in the U.S. Navy as a special operator, yes, on SEAL Team 6. He's a quiet professional, but he is here to talk about the Navy SEAL Art of War, his new book. Rob, there are, SEAL teams like to talk about there being officers and door kickers. You were a door kicker.
Yes.
And in your book, you talk about how important it is both for corporations and the military to move responsibility down, the idea of the strategic corporal. What does that mean for corporations?
Well, what it means is everybody has not have buy-in, but everybody has to be immersed in what the company's trying to do or what they're trying to achieve. So if I know what my commander wants the outcome to be from any particular mission or for a corporation's products, then I have a better understanding of what my role is in that and making sure that product comes to market. And if they don't understand that, it creates a lag, or in our profession, it creates kind of a hiccup that's in combat, which costs you your life.
And that's changed within both the Navy and the Marine Corps. Has that actually happened, where authority has been moved down to the corporal?
It's passed down. The commander's intent. Everybody works with the commander's intent and understands what that mission's supposed to be. And then based on your training and your leaders, everybody understands the goal of that mission, and they try to accomplish it.
So if you sit down with Don Barton at McKinsey and a bunch of bright-eyed MBAs who've never worked with the SEALs or anything military command and control kind of performance, what would be your #1 advice to Don Barton?
Mission focus. How do you project what you want to have happen to the people that work for you, and how is that information passed down? And then, more importantly, how are you verifying that information is actually being passed down?
As part of that, you got to get out there and see people. I still don't see any substitute for travel. Management has to get out there and talk to people face to face, or have we gone beyond that?
Well, no, 100%. You have to have some kind of connection with the people that are working for you in order for them to implement your ideas. Because if you're the leader a leader of a group or organization, you really have to impress upon them who you are and what you want them to know.
I mean, we deal with this, Brendan, at Bloomberg every single day.
Yeah.
There's no substitute for getting out there.
This is an amazing organization that works perfectly and needs no help.
Continue.
One of the things that you do now is you work with corporations, and of course your book is also designed for a corporate audience, and this is part of America's love affair right now with the Navy SEAL. One of the things that we see within the Pentagon is that the special operations budget either stays the same or increases, even as other things are getting cut back. It's a very important part of strategy for the U.S. Do you worry at all that as we all come to think of the Navy SEAL as America's superhero, that they are then quietly, special operators, asked to carry too much of the burden strategically because we believe that they can do anything?
I believe that 100% to be true. I think that the more success that they have, the more people want to give them. But there's only so many hours in a day to train people, and there's only so many deployments they can actually do before you reach with a call.
And there's a problem training enough guys to do this.
Correct. Right. There's a whole system that needs to be put in place from when the kids are coming out of high school to when they go to college and then going on to the special operations community.
But then within the community, there's a problem right now, I understand, with retention because they're being asked to carry so much of the burden of national security.
Well, I would put it more in line that the deployment schedules for the guys are a little bit more extreme than they were a couple of years ago. So if the deployment schedules are keeping them on the road for more than 6 months or 8 months at a time, then they have no time to recover. You have to allow your people to recover.
Yeah.
And that's the more important thing, is that if your organization is really driving them to be successful. Yeah. If you don't give them time to recover and relax and recruit and retrain, then you have an issue.
And Anders Corr, this is to the heart of your previous argument, which is that boots on the ground is tough when you're exhausted.
Well, I mean, my question for you is, what do you think about the use of special operations forces in Afghanistan and Iraq? Was it successful in achieving the bigger strategic goals?
I think so, because the enemy has to know who we are and what we are capable of doing. You can't win a war if the enemy doesn't know who you are. You have to strike fear in the hearts of the people that you're engaging. It's no different than a business. If your competitors, they have to know that you're going to be 100% on them all the time.
And we've got a number of special forces in the military, is some 60,000 or something. And then how many Navy SEALs are there? Is that classified, or do we know?
It's roughly around 1,800 to 2,000, depending on the time of year, but it's about 2,000 people total. But probably 1,800 guys are deployed or
How many people wash out? You know, and I say that with great respect to the challenges of becoming a Navy
Well,
SEAL.
it's self-selection. You know, you get a kid that wants to be in the Navy, wants to become a Navy SEAL. He doesn't have all the tools. He goes to the program, and it's too much for him. You're going to have an 80% dropout rate for it because of lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Even though there's a lot of stuff on the internet, and there's a lot of stuff that tells movies. But kids, they're kids. They're 18-year-old kids that try to make a decision.
Do you like the way you are personified in the movies today? I mean, every other movie's a total blow-up military movie. When you sit in the theater, what do you think of those?
I think it's hard to capture what SEALs actually do. Because there's a humility with all the guys. There's also humor that they have, creativity, the physical pressures they're under on a day-to-day basis. And I think the quiet professional is the right approach for our community. But it's really hard it's not exciting enough for people to watch on television.
Yeah. Bradley Cooper's not as good looking as you as well. Rob Roy, thank you so much. The Navy SEAL, Art of War, smart, sharp book for corporate America. Rob Roy, thank you so much.